As you can probably tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be showing you how I trim my horse's feet. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear things in the background. The wind is really bad today, and my cows are also in here, so I'm sorry if they make noise. First disclaimer I want to make is that I am not a professional farrier whatsoever, nor am I a professional veterinarian or a horse nutritionist. I learned how to trim horses' hooves over a lot of time working with other farriers. So I'm not a professional at all. I'm just here to show you how I do it, and this is how it works for me and my horse. So if you have never trimmed horses' feet before, I would strongly suggest talking to your veterinarian or your farrier about your specific horse's feet before you just go chop it away at their hooves, because you can seriously injure and cause horses to go lame if you don't know what you're doing and just do their feet completely wrong, because some horses do require certain angles of their feet if they have ever had a history of foot problems or if they have shoes. So just talk to your veterinarian before you just start trimming your horse's feet and what works best for you and your. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be using very basic tools, things you can just pick up at your local tack store. None of these things are all that expensive, probably range between $20 and $30. So the first thing I'm going to be using is a normal straight rasp. It has a rougher side like this and then the finer side on the back. So that's just. Next, I'm just going to be using some regular horse clippers. You can find these probably, if you can find a rasp at your tack store, you can find these too. They're just normal clippers. These you do need to sharpen after a while of using them, and eventually they'll get filed down enough where you do have to replace them along with the rasp. Once that gets dulled down enough, you do have to replace it, but these will last a lot longer than the rasp. And the last thing I'm going to be using is a hoof knife. I actually don't even use this all that much, but this is optional if you want to pick this up. It does, this one has sharp edges on both sides, so you can use it on both sides. I am right-handed, and I'm pretty sure this is a left-handed knife, so make sure when you are picking out your knives, make sure it is the right hand. They do make knives where you can use on either hand, but yeah, just make sure if you pick up a knife, make sure it's the right hand, because I have a hard time using this knife. I'm going to be using just a regular hoof pick. This is my hoof pick. This is the ultimate hoof pick. This is probably the best hoof pick I've ever owned. You can get the just the cheaper ones with the plastic and the brush on the back. I have had a few of those, but I honestly don't like them at all. But I found this one to be probably the best one I've ever owned. You can also pick up these ones. This is probably the, I just hate these hoof picks. These are just the worst hoof picks I've ever owned. But yeah, you can, I only actually have this one for emergencies, but these do work if you're just trying to get the basic stuff out of your horse's foot. But this is the one that I'm going to be using for this demonstration. Things that I would recommend is 1, tie your horse up shorter than you normally would, and 2, those are my cows, just ignore them. 2, I would give your horse something to chew on or something to eat while you're trimming their feet. And I do this because if she's going to be standing here for a long time, especially if you are just practicing and you take a long time to do it, your horse is going to be more obligated to move around or sniff or just just move around. If they're standing here for a long time, bored, they have nothing to think about but you picking their feet, just give them something to do and something better to focus on than them having their feet done. First, make sure your horse is okay with you being down here by his feet, grabbing his legs. Make sure she picks up her feet and she can hold it there for a long time. Also make sure that you have all your tools in one space. Make sure they're not scattered all over the place. If she spooks or if she needs a break and needs her foot let down, I don't want her to step on something and break something or spook herself or anything like that. So I'm just going to pick up her foot and just pick out her foot like I normally would pick it out. Just get all this out of here. Get everything out of her frog. Get all this out of the hoof wall. Okay, now if you have a brush on your hoof pick, you can go ahead and brush away all that, but alright, so now I'm just going to pick up a foot, get all that out, like I just did. Now, you want to make sure your horse is okay if you put his foot between her legs, just like this, and I'm going to squeeze with my knees and let her foot just sit right on my knees. So now you can see all this here, this dark spot right along the edge of her foot, that's all overgrowth. So what I'm going to be aiming for is taking all this off. I'm going to leave a little bit of overgrowth on there just so I don't chop all of her overgrowth off, and then she might get a little bit sore. So first I'm going to start at one heel and go all the way around. Just going to start, and I want to make my clippers flat. I don't want to angle them like this. So just keep them flat. Clip a little bit at a time. My clippers are a little bit dull right now, so I do need to get them sharpened. Good girl. If you need to readjust, you can readjust. Good girl. Alright. So I'm just going to pull this off. Now I want to clip away some of the heel. Don't clip off a ton of the heel, but just so it's level with the rest you've cut off. I'm going to cut away some of this. Right here along the frog, you'll notice some overgrowth. This is called the bars. You can take this off with your hoof knife, but I'm just going to go ahead and clip it right off. Now it doesn't have to be perfect yet, but now I'm going to take away some of this overgrowth right here. Just going to clip it this way. Alright, so now it's going to feel kind of weird when she puts her foot down, but since she's standing here so nicely, I'm going to let her put her foot down and give her a little break. So now if you want, you can take your hoof knife and you can go ahead and just start chipping away at this empty part right here. This is called the sole. Some farriers like to just take away this top layer of the sole. I don't do this really just because I feel like the sole can shed itself like it's supposed to, but some farriers like to take this and just clip away the very surface just to help it out a little bit. You can also trim away the frog. My knife is pretty dull right now because I don't really use it that much. So I'm not going to do that yet. But you can do that. Good girl. Alright, now for her frog. Since I've chipped away all this now, her frog is going to be higher than her foot. This frog has a lot of dead tissue on top of it. So just to help her out a little bit, I'm going to take my clippers and just clip away the top surface of the frog. Don't go super deep with the frog because the frog is tissue, just like an organ kind of. But I'm just going to take away just the top layer of it. It's just like a rubbery surface layer that you want to take off. And there, the rest of her new frog can grow through now better. I've pretty much taken off as much as I want to take off. I can adjust a little bit as I go. In fact, I'm gonna grab my nippers here, and I'm just gonna take off a little bit more heel because I feel like her heels are pretty overgrown. Good girl. And I'm talking to her as I go because this probably really isn't the most comfortable thing for your horse to be standing here and getting all this chopped off their feet. So I'm just telling her, good girl. And she's being very patient. Now I'm going to take the rougher side of my straight rasp and I'm just going to start rasping away at it. I want to get these heels as level with the rest of her foot as I can. So I'm going to start with these. I'm going to check kind of how level they are as I'm going. So now I want to make sure these two heels are as level with each other as they can possibly be. So I'm going to drop her foot like this. I'm going to see that this heel is a little bit higher than this one. So I'm going to take a little bit more off this. Now they're pretty level. Make sure that you get these as level as you possibly can, because if this one were to be left higher than this one, she'd be walking on this heel all the time, and that would be extremely painful for her after a couple days, because this would make a really hot pressure point for her. And now I just want to keep them level and keep leveling out the rest of this hoof. Whoop, good girl. Now what I do is called the Mustang Roll. You want to take all this edgy, broken off hoof overgrowth, and you want to take the finer side and you just want to work at it like this, kind of at an angle at the edge of her feet, because if you leave this sharp on the edge, this is going to be very easy to chip and crack. So you just want to work away and make this nice and rounded off. And if you need to, you can take the glove off, feel it with your hands. Still kind of sharp over here. Good girl. There, now this is nice and rounded off, and it's going to make her foot a lot stronger than it was before. So this is what this foot looks like after. You can see there's a little point right here. I could probably take some of that off. And then this foot hasn't been done yet. You see it's very overgrown compared to the one on the left here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped you. I will have all the tools that I use linked in the description box below. My camera is about to die now, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye.